Oh, we're live. Oh my God. Holy cow. God, I know everybody loves night games. I hate night games. I'm so tired. It is 10:30 and we are just now going live, people. I know a couple people said they were going to hop in. Like, I just don't even have the energy to be like, ooh, you know. Let me see. I'm not in my normal couch or kitchen. I'm at my girlfriend's house. I've said girlfriend on here a few times. Let me pull up the live stats because I kind of went live pretty quickly because it is 10:30. Why did that game take 3.5 hours? Good God, people. All right. Welcome to Missouri Tigers Postgame Live. I am Zach Ramilius. I am here to talk about Mizzou's 49-20. Ooh, I put 24, not 27. I shorted the Bulldogs some points. My apologies to Jeff Levy and the boys. 49-27 over the Mississippi State Bulldogs. Mizzou moves to 7-3 on the year, 3-3 in the SEC. Two big games left to try and get to a third. Obviously, the Oklahoma game looks a little harder now, but we'll talk about Oklahoma on Monday for the preview. I'm not going to be live all night. It's 10:30 here in St. Louis. So, Mizzou. I came out and punched him in the mouth right away. Actually, early on, I was pretty impressed by Zoller's that just the wherewithal to throw that little jump ball to Alubade after Mizzou forces a 3-and-out. Offsides, he throws a jump ball. Alubade comes down with it, touchdown. After Ahmad Hardy goes for 34 yards on 2nd and 10 to start the drive. I thought Mizzou obviously ran the ball really damn well. That first couple drives, I thought Zollers played pretty well. He had another pass to Coleman. He threw another touchdown pass to Josh Manning, who went beast mode. Josh, I didn't know you had that in you. Good run blocker. But so early on, the Mizzou offense was humming. It kind of stuttered a little bit after that, but they eventually got it together. Obviously, a couple defensive scores don't hurt. And they get the 49-27 win, an easy win for Mizzou over the Mississippi State Bulldogs, which is nice because it's nice every once in a while to have an easy win. Shout out to Toriano Pride for his huge night, the big field goal return off the fumble return, basically, and he had a pick six. Marvin Burks also had a pick six. Marvin Burks with a positive play in a Missouri Tigers uniform. Not often you see that, and congrats to him. He actually played, I thought, okay tonight. We'll talk about the defense here in a little bit. I thought the defensive line, Darius Smith with 2 sacks. Darius Smith has a really nice pressure rate this year. He obviously doesn't get the attention Zion Young gets or Wilson, but he has a really good pressure rate. And he had 2 sacks and 3 tackles for a loss tonight. Dayton Hopkins had a sack tonight. We'll go more into the defense here in a little bit. But 13 tackles for a loss, three for Darius Smith. And that's crazy because Trotter got kicked out really early in the game, and so did Anderson. So a lot of guys got playing time, obviously, with how the game unfolded. Before we really talk about how the game goes, I can't wait for the new stadium next year. Like, it's construction. Like, it is what it is. I went to every home game in 2014 when they were 2013, they were doing the construction on the student section side, and they built the extension, so it went higher. I remember when they were doing that, and like attendance was, there was 71,000 people when I started going to games in 2012. Obviously, it went down a little bit that year, and then in 2014 it went back up, and then they obviously started knocking it back down, as they should. Mizzou doesn't need a big stadium like that, but it's going to look so nice, but it's going to look so good and not to see a construction site every time you watch a Mizzou home game will be really cool. And it looks better and better every time you see it. It'll be ready for next season, obviously. And Yeah, hard not to be excited for it. The first thing to talk about, Ahmad Hardy. Low-key, this game made me madder at Kirby Moore. You have this thoroughbred in the backfield, and if he didn't get taken out for a couple series, he probably sets a Mizzou record. Now, I understand you can't plan he's going to run for a 72-yard touchdown at any point, but 25 carries, 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. That'll do. That'll do. He was just insane tonight. Guys, he's the best running back in the country, in my opinion. He's now at 1,346 yards, 15 touchdowns. Jeremiah Love gets a lot of attention, and Jeremiah Love deserves a lot of attention. He's awesome. I actually have met Jeremiah Love's uncle. He goes to the same gym I do. Jeremiah Love deserves a lot of credit. He may even damn well deserve the Doak Walker. But, man, Ahmad, because Notre Dame's probably going to make the playoff. It was a nice win over Pitt today. They're on easy. They got like Stanford and some of like Boston College maybe, or some other crappy team to finish out the year. At 11 o'clock, 10:30, I don't remember off the top of my head. So he definitely deserves a ton of credit. But Ahmad Hardy, man, but how are you not giving this guy the ball more against Vanderbilt, A&M, Bama? What are you actually doing, Kirby Moore? But 25 carries, 300 yards. And look, Mizzou has 2 defensive touchdowns. If he even's on the field for a couple of those, he probably gets to 320 and breaks the record anyway. It's just one of those things where it's like early in the game, you didn't know he was going to go crazy. And then later in the game, you get the couple of defensive scores from Pride and Burks. So it is what it is. Still putting up 3 bills against a SEC opponent is crazy. And Jamal Roberts had a nice game too, 9 carries for 45 yards. Obviously, when it was clear that Hardy had the crazy hot hand, that they were going to give him the football. He also had a fumble tonight. So if you take away the fumble too, he also has a decent chance at that record. Crazy night for him. You have to find a way to keep him next year, no matter what happens with Eli. He leaves, he stays, whatever. You have to keep him, and you have to keep Donovan Olubade. He's the best receiver on the team. Mizzou did not throw the ball a lot tonight, but he had 2 catches for 31 yards and a touchdown. Kevin Coleman led the way with 4 catches for 41 yards. They only threw the ball 15 times. It was pretty clear Mississippi State couldn't stop the run. It's been pretty clear all week, all year. And outside of like end of half situations, they did not put the ball. I thought Zollers played well to start the game. But once he threw that pick, it was very clear they were like, no. We are not giving him we're not going to let him potentially lose this game. You get your 7th win. Look, 8 wins looks good. And you should beat Arkansas. Arkansas's defense is atrocious too. So you have a chance to win that game. A 9 looks really good. You'll probably end the season ranked. So don't let him lose you this game. He did a nice job handing off. And Bo warmed up. He might play next week. We'll kind of see how that goes. I don't probably look pretty much the same as it did against Vanderbilt and Alabama, but having him in there, probably an upgrade. You at least have a better threat to pass with Prabula in there than Zollers. But hey, the kid threw 2 touchdowns. Olubade had a big night. Not a big night. He caught the 1 touchdown, and another 5-yard pass. But you got to keep one around, and you got to keep Zollers around because the talent's there, man. He's just a freshman. Like freshmen don't like Drew Lock his freshman year. Didn't look like he could complete a pass against a high school team. And to be fair, those receivers were garbage, and Josh Henson was garbage. I don't think these receivers are great. Marquise Johnson, notably, no catches tonight. Did he even play? I don't even know if he played. No catches tonight, but I don't think these receivers are very good. And I don't think Kirby Moore is very good. So, offensively, though, it was just give Hardy the ball and get out of the way. I thought the offensive line did really well tonight. Mississippi State's so beat up. You had to run the football down their throats. And you did. On the game, 39 carries, 326 yards, 8.4 rushing yards per attempt, 438 total yards. your offense played really damn well. And you know what? I've crapped on him a lot. So shout out to Kirby Moore for being like, oh, I just need to run the ball. Every pass was a wasted down, essentially, in the second half. It was just a waste of a down. You didn't do anything with it. There was no threat. And you went 5 for 10 on third downs. We'll talk about the defense here in a little bit. I think some of the numbers from Mississippi, like this game, like some of these numbers, like if you look at the yardage totals, are going to look a little misleading because Mizzou did have 2 defensive scores. The other ugly thing from tonight, though, 11 penalties for 74 yards. Some stupid penalties. I know people got mad at a couple, and Eli got mad at a couple of the intentional groundings, especially the one it did look like it got tipped. And some of the other stuff, but at the same time, like, yes, he got punched, but Stephen Hall was holding the guy's face mask. Like, you can't do that. There's just things that they did that you cannot do. And look, it ended up not biting him. It'll kill him next week because I don't think Oklahoma's offense is still very good. I mean, they scored – what was the final score today? 23-21. So they scored 16 points against Alabama. They had 1 offensive touchdown. Like, it's still not good. But that's a huge win for OU. But we'll talk about OU on Monday. But yeah, no, credit to the offense, credit to Kirby Moore. Like, hey, give it to Hardy, get out of the way. 300 yards is 300 yards. Again, you're listening to Missouri Tigers Postgame Live. I know last week was not a long show because I had family stuff I had to get to. Tonight, probably not a long show just because it's 10:45 and I'm exhausted. I had to work today, so I had to be up at 7 in the morning. And yeah, it's just not fun. The defense, again, a lot of tackles for a loss. I don't think they played great tonight. Mississippi State does have a tendency to put up points. Blake Shapen was 19 for 33 for $199. Kamario Taylor, 4 for 5 and a touchdown. You did limit their run game, which is something they do like to do. Jeff Levy does run that veer and shoot. Devon Booth, 10 carries, 34 yards. Fluff Bothwell, who I'm shocked they did not get more involved early, 6 carries for 25 yards. Kamario Taylor, the backup quarterback, who's more of a runner, 10 carries for 22 yards. Blake Shapen took a lot of sacks, 17 carries for 16 yards. But so while I don't think the defense overall had a great game, I do give them credit for that drive in the second quarter. It's 14-10. You had played so well offensively. You were driving again. Mississippi State, nope, not the touchdown drive, sir, the interception. You get Kevin Coleman for 5, Jamal Roberts for 19, Hardy for 8, Hardy for 7, Roberts for 3, and then on second and 13 or -3, second and 13 at the 39-yard line, Zollers throws an interception, and now Mississippi State is setting up at their own 42-yard line, and like if they can take a lead, they're starting to build some momentum. They get all the way down because of a couple penalties. They have first and goal at the 5. You stuff Blake Shapen, 3-yard loss, and then you get another penalty. That was the targeting to Trotter. He got him. Like he did. Thank goodness it was the first half, so he's not going to miss any of the OU game. But like he got him. Like fair is fair. But then first and goal at the 4, -1 yard run, 2-yard run. So now it's third and goal at the 3, and then you get the face mask on Stephen Hall. Guys, he grabbed the face mask. Like you cannot do that. Third and goal. So now it's first and goal at the 2-yard loss for Taylor, delay of game. Second and goal, 2-yard gain, incomplete, and then awful snap. He basically snapped it at the holder's knee. So, and Toriano Pride returns it all the way to the Mississippi State 23, and then Hardy's able to punch it in from 10 yards out, and 21-10. And while Mississippi State did cut it to 21-17 to get the ball back, the defense again stood strong. Got a sack of 9 yards, and immediately Ahmad Hardy 72-yard touchdown, and the game never was close again. I mean, legitimately, the next play was a pick 6. Again, the defense was not amazing tonight. It got a little hairy at times. But again, Mississippi State scores make it 35-24. Gross. you punt it right back to them, and the defense 3 plays, 3 yards, punt, you punt, and then you force another pick six. When Mississippi State had an opportunity to take a lead or really get back into the football game, the defense stood strong, and that deserves a ton of credit. Even at the end of the game, when Mississippi State's trying to push for a touchdown, you stopped them. You forced a field goal. So after Hardy put it away with a 43-yard scamper and a score. So while the defense deserves credit tonight, it's got to be better next week. The Oklahoma offense is not very good. It's just not. The defense is amazing. So you're going to have to win a game like 17-14. But we will we'll see what happens when we get there. Let me see. What else did I want to get to? It's outstanding that you were able to win this game. Like, it's a game before the season I wasn't worried about. It was a game that I kept saying, like, okay, you have to win your 4 non-cons. You have to win the Arkansas game, and you have to win the Mississippi State game. Not like you have to win them. You can't lose those games because those teams are not very good. And time has shown those teams aren't very good. Mississippi State's had a better year than I thought they would. But I don't think they're a game away from bowl eligibility, and it'd be really funny if they got to if they beat Ole Miss. It would have been funnier if Ole Miss had lost tonight and was able to get to and they kind of eliminated Ole Miss from the playoff, but Lane didn't cork one tonight, so they did come back and beat the Gators. So Mississippi State has had a nice season. They have a bye week, and then they go play Ole Miss at home. Anything can happen. If you win that, you make a bowl game, and certainly Jeff deserves some credit for making a bowl game in that situation. Just kind of looking at the score. I'm just kind of seeing what the Boise State, San Diego State score was. Let me pull back up Mizzou. So the main thing also with this defense is next year you're going to have to replace Hall. You're going to have to replace Pride. You're going to have to replace Norwood. Did he have a tackle tonight? He's played so secretly well this year. He had 2 tackles. You're going to have to replace a lot of guys. Jalen Catalon. A lot of these guys on defense, I think that's okay. I don't think the secondary's been that great. The D-line's been phenomenal. And guys I did not think would be good have played phenomenal. We knew Chris McClellan was good. He was good last year. Zion Young, I did not know had this pass rush tackle for a loss ability in him. I thought he was just kind of a good run-setting edge defender. He's been excellent. Damon Wilson, monster. He adds a half a sack to his total tonight. He's up to 7 on the season. Chance for a couple big games. Maybe get to double-digit sacks. But I think Gracie Al has really come along. I think Sterling Webb has really come along this year. I think they both have played some really good football. Unfortunately, you're going to have to replace all those guys going into next season. Maybe Darius Smith comes back. Darius Smith will probably come back, that'll be nice. Khalil Jacobs will come back. I think he has another year. It says senior, but I'm not sure. Marvin Burks will come back. He had 12 tackles tonight, so credit to Marvin Burks for that. Now, a lot of them were completed passes, but a handful of those, yes, were like, hey, we're up 20, play back, keep everything in front, make a tackle. And he did. They really did limit explosives for Mississippi State, which was nice. I mean, Mississippi State's long pass play was 54. Gross, but they only hit 2 explosives in the pass game. They had a 54-yarder and a 38-yarder, and they had no explosive runs. You'll take that. How many explosives did Mizzou have? Ahmad Hardy had like 5 on his own. Jamal Roberts had an explosive run in there, and then they had 2. And Mizzou also had. I mean, Mizzou and Mississippi State had equal explosive pass plays. Like, you'll take that. Now, Mississippi State's were a good bit longer. That's okay. We'll see what this team has next week, man. Like, next week, your playoff dreams are dead. They are. They're dead. I know Tom Hart and Kublik and those guys were trying to hype it up, but like they're dead. But you can ruin Oklahoma's season, and there's something to be said for that. Oklahoma ruined Alabama's season last year, and it's Bama's on the brink this year. Like you can lose if Bama can lose to Auburn, and if they do, they're done. So you can put Oklahoma in a really bad spot. You have that opportunity. So go take it. The SEC, finished 9-3 with a chance at a 10th win in the Citrus Bowl or whatever bowl game, and 3 straight 10-win seasons really builds up your momentum. Hell, a 9-win season I would take at this point just because of how it's kind of unfolded with a losing streak, a couple games back-to-back losses. But these are the kind of games Eli wins. There's going to be a lot less of them. Now, when the SEC moves to a 9-game schedule next year, you're not going to play Mississippi State and, normal talent Vandy. Like, we'll see what Vandy is moving forward with Clark Lee. That coaching staff's amazing. So I doubt they'll be too bad, even without Pavia. But, you're not going to get you still get Arkansas. They're dog crap. But you won't get South Carolina every year, just programs like that. But you might get Kentucky, and but you're going to get a lot more Texases, a lot more Georgias, Bamas, LSUs, Texas A&Ms. Obviously, you're going to be playing Texas A&M every year. You're going to play Oklahoma every year. Texas A&M has dog walked you 2 straight years, and in 3 of the last 5, and are pushing to after look. It was South Carolina, but coming back from 27 points down is impressive. Not a great win, but it's an impressive achievement. And now you got to play them every year. Oklahoma is fighting for a playoff spot. And look, if Oklahoma makes the playoff, I would not want to play them with how good that defensive line is. And John Mateer can make he's not great, but he makes some funky throws. That's a tough team to play. So we'll see moving on to next week. Monday, we will be back. I'll have probably more thoughts on this game. Basically, my overall thought process is Mizzou did exactly what it should do. When even not operating at full strength, Mizzou did exactly what they should do. Yeah, Mississippi State scored some points. That's okay. Mississippi State's going to score points. They have a good offense. They have Jeff Lebby, who does run good stuff. Remains to be seen if he'll recruit and run enough good stuff to compete in the SEC. But even at Mississippi State level, look, if Mississippi State wants to compete for the playoff or anything of that level, they should probably join the Big 12. And I think the same thing about Arkansas. I think the same thing about Kentucky. There's a few programs where, not necessarily Missouri, where if you really want to compete for some high level stuff, you should probably drop down a level. But we'll see what he'll do there long term. Even Dan Mullen had a hell of a run there, and there was only, I think, 2 years they would have even competed for a 12. Well, obviously 1 year they would have made it, but 2 years they would have even competed for it. So, and I think Moorhead had 1 year like that. His first year, I think it was 2018. They went 9-4 with Nick Fitzgerald, St. Louis Battlehawks legend, Kaká. But it remains to be seen what they'll do there long term. But look, Mizzou did exactly what you should do. You ran the ball down their throats and you beat the crap out of an SEC team. Now you got your final big test of the year. You got your final big game of the year. Arkansas is a big game because it's a rivalry. You're going on the road, whatever. Arkansas. If Arkansas has quit by next week, I won't be shocked because Texas. If they get blown out by Texas, they're done. They might already be done, but they get Texas. It's a huge rivalry for them. They'll get up for it. If they lose, they're done. They're going to quit. So you should win that game. Next week, it's your last chance at a big win. And it would be a huge win for Eli. If you win next week, it puts a lot of narratives to bed about Eli in big games. Plus, you would knock Oklahoma out of the playoff, probably. We're getting a little funky here. So, as it always does. So, I'm actually going to head off for the night. It is 11 o'clock, and I'm exhausted. I've been up for 16 hours. So, and I didn't sleep much last night. Got a lot of family stuff going on. So thank you for tuning into the Voice of College Football. Again, you can subscribe, like, all that fun stuff. If you know Missouri Tiger fans, we'll be here on Monday, 7 o'clock. We're here every Monday, every post game. Next week's game's at 11 o'clock. Thank God. We'll be here every week to talk. And once the off season starts, obviously we're going to have some coaching stuff going on. We might have some coordinators, some position coaches leaving. Like, we'll see what happens. Same with recruiting. I haven't talked a lot about recruiting. I have 9 months basically to talk about recruiting. I don't want to talk about recruiting during the season. So thank you guys all for tuning in. You all have a wonderful night. I will see you on Monday. Mizzou basketball will be playing at the same time, so we'll watch both, barring a couple caveats with some family stuff. But if you follow me on Twitter at PsychoZ50, you'll see that. So thank you guys all for tuning in. You guys have a wonderful rest of your night, wonderful Sunday. Hope your fantasy team wins. And MIZ, look, you did exactly what you should. 7-3, huge one next week. Chance to put a lot of narratives to bed.